So think back now into colonial times. People are thinking about coming to America. They're living in Europe primarily. It's a bloated aristocracy. Very little social mobility. Pretty much you were going to live your father's life or your mother's life. That was it. You're a peasant or you're a wealthy person. There's really no middle class. There's nothing in between. So the idea that you could come to a new world and take responsibility for your life, determine the consequences of your life, was a very big idea. So you get on a leaky boat, you travel the months across the water, and you come to America because there's a promise. And the first promise is you are responsible for your life. You are responsible for the consequences that you create. You could determine your own destiny and then live it. There's no safety net, but we're going to give you freedom. And freedom was the intoxicating element. Now there were two other big ideas that emerged as this country was born. One was opportunity, endless opportunity, and equality for all before the law. Wow, this is a big idea. That the way you finished your life was not determined by the way you began it. What a concept. Now for the last 200 years, we've been trying to negotiate how all these principles fit together. Because you see there's some tension between them. Freedom and responsibility are polar ends. Freedom without responsibility is chaos. So how much responsibility is there and how much freedom is there? Opportunity and equality are polar ends. Opportunity without equality just leads to a concentration of wealth and power. But how much equality do you really impose? Through laws and regulations. Otherwise, you take away people's opportunity. So let's look at the American Promise updated to 2005. We have something called the lower right and the lower left. Look what's on the lower right. That's what I call industrial capitalism, free market capitalism, Milton Friedman's capitalism. It's the concept that if everybody acts in their self-interest, the collective greed will produce the highest and best result possible. The greatest wealth and the greatest well-being. It's Walmart world. Walmart is the epitome of industrial capitalism. Well, then let's look at the lower left. The lower left, this is the victim part of liberalism. This is what I call failed liberalism. We need to become just like Europe. We need to bring back the trade unions. It's something called social democracy. The best we can hope for is the U.S. Post Office. That's what the lower left can promise us. That's the best it could be. We'll regulate everything. It was what Lyndon Johnson did when he created the Great Society. Gosh, we'll just give so much money away, we'll depress everyone who receives it. We'll institutionalize people on welfare. What do we get when we tried that before? We got Jimmy Carter. We got 20% interest rates and total stagnation. No growth at all. We got a country that absolutely lost its confidence. These are old ideas competing. And what we see in the press and what we see on TV every night as these people on Fox and CNN scream at each other. And they write these snarly little books at each other. How to talk to a liberal if you must. Or how the dumb white fat guys or whatever it is. It's all a discussion at the lower right and the lower left. It's not the discussion of the future. And you all know it. We have the best that these ideas can produce. This is it.